So last episode, if you can remember that, we went on a little bit of a journey to get Toon Link up to speed, just a little bit. As well, he was the missing link that was stopping us from 100%ing the first map and Master Quest map in this version of the game. But yeah, in this episode we're just going to continue on as well. Apart from 100%ing this map, we don't exactly have any other goals. So yeah, which is kind of weird to say, because I think that's like the first time that's happened. Probably won't be the last time that happens, because I think once we return to the Master Sea, or to this version, we will pretty much just be doing the same thing. But yeah, wow, okay, strong boys. But yeah, as we just go about this vanilla with Midna here, I think there's a few things I'd like to talk about. And really the first thing on my mind is the projects I want to do or would like to do across both of my channels. More so just like the immediate things that have got on my mind. I think like the things I would need a little bit more practice in those, I think. Okay, right. I'm not quite sure what song I'm listening to, but something to do with the water. So there's a thing that we needed to do here with Midna. Anyway, the first game I'd like to touch on, and it's also kind of somewhat relevant to me because that is the game I'm listening to the soundtrack of, thanks to Nintendo Music. And that is Mario Odyssey, specifically 100%. As I really love the game, specifically like the movement and the scenery. I mean, yeah, music not so much. I wouldn't say the music is my favorite out of the 3D Marios, but it's up there, I would say. It has its bangers. And I feel like if I was to do that, I would love to include every aspect of the game as much as I could. Like including Balloon World. Because like that is a really good way of grinding up the coins you need to buy all the costumes. Although, to be fair, I'm not entirely sure how I'll go about that. I think maybe I would love to have, like maybe when we complete a world or something, I would spend a little bit of time in Balloon World, in that world, I guess that kingdom, for a bit. Just have a little bit of viewer interaction, I guess. And not only would I like to include every aspect of Mario Odyssey in it, but I would love to revolve the entire LP around doing the biggest moon drop possible, which is depositing the most amount of moons you could collect at any given time. Because like that is something I really like doing whenever I play through the game. So I think just to do a very look here, and I think to achieve that, I might maybe even do or have the first recording session just be me rushing through the story for the rushing through the story, so I can unlock pretty much everything. Because well, getting the biggest moon drop isn't hard per se. It's just like there's a bit of routing you need to do, because there's just a few kingdoms which the only way to get to them is via the Odyssey, and well, you deposit the moons you have currently on you if you use the Odyssey, so moving around without the Odyssey is pretty much like the biggest way to do it. But yeah, well, that being said, I have to say that. Because I think from memory, it would take me around like 3 hours to do that. And I'm not entirely sure if I could do like a 3-hour recording session. Also, there would be like no stopping points pretty much. It would be like no stopping starting in between episodes. Like that sort of thing. Next LP I'd love to do sometime in the future is... Okay, wow, this... Did Midna have a treasure, or was it just the arrow? I think it might have just been the arrow. Anyway, the next LP I'd love to do eventually is Super Paper Mario 100% as well. It is one of my favorite Paper Marios, and I think I've got more notes on it than I do any other Paper Mario game. Like, if it wasn't for a main channel video that I wanted to work on for Thousand Year Door, I would probably pretty easily say that, yeah, I do have the most notes on that game specifically. I'm not sure. And a reason I would like to do 100%, like instead of just a normal playthrough, is it might just be because I haven't really gone out of my way to look for it, but I don't think there's much in the way of content describing the things you need to do for 100%ing Super Paper Mario, and it's just, it is quite a lot. Like, it's no Breath of the Wild, but there is some insane things, and I don't think everyone knows like the best ways to go about it. Okay, so I'm starting to think that there was no treasure here for Midna, but I mean, we do need the A rank eventually, so I really hope that this is the 1200 and not a 1600. Could be wrong. But yeah, I'm not even sure I need to play through the game again just to make sure, like, as a practice run. Just because I have that many notes on it. And speaking of Paper Mario, I'd love to do a 100% run of the Thousand Year Door, specifically the HD version, as it pretty much just has everything in the original version on top of a few more things, and I feel like the only thing stopping me from doing it at the moment, like the only thing I'd want to do before it, is finishing a series of main channel videos I have already done on it. Like, that's pretty much it. I'll talk about that series of main channel videos a little bit later, but like, that's pretty much the only thing that's stopping me from doing it that way, from covering it. But dude, the music is just amazing. Yeah, magic bonds. Wow. Okay, that still isn't enough. I'm just gonna risk it. Still don't know what I want to do for if we fail the A rank based on KOs. And just KOs. Looks like... I get the feeling that's going to happen. Just ever so slightly. Yeah, next game I'd like to do sometime in the future is Mario Kart Wii, doing all unlocks as well. I definitely could be wrong on this also. How are we doing on health? Yeah. I feel like that's the last Mario Kart game that has all of its unlocks tied to specific requirements and not just doing, like, collecting a lot of coins. Cool, that's the A rank. And of course, the series would be doing all unlocks, I guess, 100%. Depending on how you'd like to call it. And because I don't have to do everything, all Grand Prix on all classes, on top of all of the time trials, I feel like it might just be set up in such a way that I could do, like have each episode be a Grand Prix and then a course from that Grand Prix. Kind of switching it that way. Because I think that might give me enough to do it. Okay, so we have a few more options. This is something I've kind of wondered. Do we have to do all of the boss levels before we get to the final boss, which I'm fairly sure is like right here? Do we? I know, I think that might be like a mini goal of sorts. Just ever so slightly. Okay. You know what, we do need more fairy food, so let's go ahead and do that. And plus, this is another vanilla, so we can kind of talk some more. Okay, just so I don't get fairy food. Okay, so we need to be smashing a lot of pots. Okay. Yeah, I think that would give me just enough to do. Could be wrong. Because 4 times 8 is 36. Yeah, if anything, there might be a few more cups that I'll have to do. Ooh. That would give me a little bit of leniency, because then there'll be 4 episodes in which I don't need to do a time trial. Okay, we found the food first, that's cool. This is good to know, so we just need to find the fairy. Yeah. And then I think on that note, I might have... Definitely a little bit weird to say this, I think the 4 episodes I will give myself leniency for will probably be when I have to do 500cc. Like a few of the 500cc cups. Because remember, we do have to do everything. Or there's unlocks tied to 50cc. Actually, the way... Yeah, the way Mario Kart Wii goes about unlocks, specifically with the cups, it's a little bit weird. The fact that, I was gonna say you technically don't need to get stars in all of the cups, but no, you do. Because, there's a unlock for getting a star in all of the Nitro Cups of the class, an unlock for all of the... doing the same thing again but with the Retro Cups, and then doing it again for all of the cups in a class. So yeah, that would be a thing. Also, I'm not really sure how I want to do it. So we'll start it off. because I don't want to get rid of the most interesting part, like do the most interesting part first, that being 150cc. But at the same time, I kind of would like to get my main. That being Daisy, who is locked behind the Star Cup and 150cc. I don't know, maybe I might do... No, yeah, I'll do 100, then 150. All of 100, yeah, all of 100, then do 150, and then do 50 before I do mirror mode. And of course, not really of course, the only thing stopping me from doing it is I'd love to buy another Wii, only so then I can see if I could get better quality footage from it using an upscaler than just playing it on my Wii U. Only problem with that way of doing things is that I'll need to get another copy of Mario Galaxy. If you know, you know. Is all I'll say. But yeah, there's a few more that are a little bit more immediate, but I want to keep those a little bit close to the chest. I don't know, depending on how quickly I was able to get Pikmin 3 Deluxe or badges out, maybe I might consider doing something special for the month of May, ever so slightly special. Anyway, onto the projects, or main channel projects, that I've been kind of working away at. Of course, as I kind of can't shut the fuck up about Splatoon 3, I do have a few projects in the mind of Splatoon 3. Also, I get the feeling that the fairy's in one of our keeps, which is ever so slightly annoying. Because then we can't exactly rush. Yeah. That being a series on the road, oh, I guess the grind to getting the golden special badges, which is 1,020 wins, 1,200 wins of a match in which you used a certain special. It's doing that for my favorite specials in the game. I do have a little bit of footage on some of the weapons, since my idea with it is kind of doing the grind, getting the 4-star badges on every weapon that has that special. Only thing is, though, I recorded that a while ago and I don't entirely know how I want to present that footage. But I think I definitely need to like rethink it. Like a way I had an idea of like quite recently, before this recording session actually, is kind of like having a showcase of that weapon, and not so much of the experience being me learning that weapon, me just showing it off, like things you can do with it, sort of thing. Plus that way I get to showcase all of the weapons that have that special instead of just the ones I haven't, I didn't get around to 4-starring. And plus, if I do it that way, I am then free to 4-star any weapon I want in my own time, because I've kind of been planning around those weapons, despite the fact that I really want to. I'm trying to think of a weapon. There's a comment recently that I watched a 4-star, I haven't kind of pushed it aside because of that. The only thing I can think of is the new bow, the new tri-stringer. That's about it, really. I really hope it's not in the thingy thing. But I'll just double check this. Yeah. Although that being said, I think I might reuse some of that footage I've already recorded. Maybe. Specifically that of the Octobrush, because like that is one of my mains, and I did go out of my way to 5-star that weapon. Although that being said, 5-starring a weapon isn't really the pinnacle of using a weapon anymore, sadly. That would be 10-star, which I don't think I'm ever going to get one. Anyway, the next project is the 1000 Udor HD 100% hammer only. I recorded that way back when the game first released. Don't really. Okay, dude, where is that fairy? Okay, we have like 5 minutes to find it. You know what? Let's just leave Link here and go around looking for it with the other characters. I'll cut around just to when I find it, I think. Of course, it was in the pissing thingy thing, fairy fountain. Yeah. Much like the Splatoon 3 videos, kind of just wanted to like think about how I present it, only because I'm not quite sure how to. Like, if I want it to be like a mix of post-commentary explanation and in the moment gameplay sort of deal. A bit like how my Ocarina of Time 100% video was. Specifically, more so part 2. And I would love that to be more so of a series, because I do have thumbnails planned out for like each chapter. Well, some of the chapters, I should say. Like, the one for chapter 1, and I guess the prologue would be Mario whiffing an action command with a hammer, because the entire premise is it's me forcing myself to use the hammer because I should say, complete garbage at the action commands for the hammer. And I mean, I'm not so much now. The one for chapter 2 would be just a complete Pikmin reference, using like the Soy Jack meme for it too. I've got ideas for the third. I'm not sure how I'll do it. The fourth one has to be trans rights. Just Mario holding up Vivian. Just giant fucking trans rights. Okay, do special bonds. I kind of do have a special place in my heart for Harper, only because she was the fairy I used in the 3DS version. You know what? Let's see if we do need to refresh a fairy in order to get the good fairy drop. Yes. Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah. The gratitude crystal was the thing that I talked about before. The best food for grinding up fairy food skills. Oh, fairy skills. Thanks. I don't really want to do another vanilla, but like at the same time, I want to like focus on commentary, not do a thing. You know what? We'll do this level. Fuck it. Yeah. I'll finish the point about the TTD. Why do you hate the thing? I do have a idea in mind for the 5th chapter, but I don't want to spoil it. Is like all I'm going to say. Let's do this one. I don't want to spoil it. Is all I'll say. Fuck it, what goes that? And I don't want to restart it, only because there are some moments that I probably could not get again, so I'm just not. Okay, okay, hopefully we can do this quickly. I mean, there's not much left. It's more so I just want to focus on this level just ever so slightly, even if I don't need to. Might not. I guess while this is kind of relevant, just due to the level type, I'm thinking that for levels in which we have multiple warriors and we're fighting bosses, I won't be joining them up on purpose, I should say, to get the magic boost. If it happens by accident, sure, whatever, but I think I might just leave the companion of the warriors where they are. I'm also for backhands and second run throughs of levels, and I guess the K count levels. So that way I don't just awkwardly like pause the game to command my warriors to go somewhere, like that sort of thing. Yeah. Not to mention then that way I can kind of showcase the fact that any warrior could potentially do this level and fight off the boss at the same time, maybe. It's just that the bonus is a magic thing, like a big bonus, I should say. Also, how the hell was Skull Kid not a part of the Wii U version? What? Like, come on. There's a costume for Lana that kind of is pretty much just Skull Kid's attire. And there's a reward map that uses that costume to Lana instead of Skull Kid. Do they fix that for this version? I guess we won't know for like another few years. Also, yeah, something I do kind of want to note is the fact that, well, we have like 3 years until the 10th year anniversary of this series. And it might be just ever so slightly impossible, but I would love to get this finished before then. Also, kind of something I've been toying around with is... toying around with the idea with is, having the entire chapter be one single map. Pretty much do the entire map in one chapter, from start to finish. No breaks. Only because this is going to take a while. Even if, you know, this version won't, hopefully, won't be as long as the Wii U version, because I've heard horror stories of the Twilight and Terminal, specifically the Twilight maps. So, yay? Okay. I was going to say I'll end off the episode there, but no, we need to show off Skullkid's costume. Okay, Okay, one of those things. I do want to get around to this, so I think we might head that way next episode. But until then, that has been I'll see you.